Hey, it's math with Mrs. Peters, the crazy cat lady. Now we're going to talk about function transformations as they relate to exponential equations. With that said, let's look at what a parent graph of an exponential equation looks like. I'll slide down the page here a little bit. And this is our parent graph. What I want you to notice, okay, is that there is a number right here in front of the parentheses. When it's not there, it is always an understood one. In our parent graph, this point right here, that is our y-intercept. Notice we also have an asymptote. That's that line you never cross, and in this case, it is the x-axis. So that is the x-axis. This is the y-axis. Right. Now, let's look at our typical equation here. Let's talk about, just like when we did the linear transformations, let's talk about some of these numbers. A, okay, that's this number right here. We're going to talk about A, and we're going to talk about that it's very similar to talking about slope. Right? When A is bigger than 1, A is bigger than 1, okay, then our graph is more stretched vertically from the parent slope. So this would look like this, our blue line. See how it rises faster than the red line, which is our parent graph. Now, when A is between 0 and 1, again, we're talking about numbers that might be 0.33 or 1/3, 2/3, and just like with linear equations, we don't want something to be 4/3 because 4/3 is larger than 1. So we're going to get a graph that is more horizontal. Okay. So here our blue line is a little flatter. It rises. It still rises up, but it rises slower than our parent graph. Let's talk about the sign in front of our A. Okay, let's talk about our sign. And what does this sign tell us? Well, just like when we were talking about the linear graph, right, when it's positive, okay, I've got an uphill, okay, it comes from the asymptote and goes to the right, just like the parent graph. But if it's negative, all right, we have downhill. It goes from the upper left down to the asymptote. This flips or reflects the graph of the y-axis. All right, so here I've got my picture. I have my parent graph. Now, if I am going to have it negative, it's going to flip up and down, and that means it's going to come down here, and it's going to flip over the x-axis. Now, let's talk about this letter H. This is the first time we're going to have seen the letter H. Okay, H over here, H, okay, notice that it is hanging out with X. Okay, just like X tells us to go left and right, H is movement of our graph overall, left and right. This is movement on the x-axis only. When H is a positive number, our whole picture is going to move to the left. When H is a negative number, okay, we are moving right on our graph. So let's look at a picture here. I give you pictures. All right. This is my parent graph is red. Okay. This is movement left, matches up with the green one. Okay. This is movement right. So that tells me that my equation has x minus or x plus. And what does K tell us? K is going to tell us movement up and down or on the y-axis. Okay? If K is positive, you're moving up the axis. If K is negative, we're moving down the axis. And again, I supplied us with a picture. Okay. The green one is movement up the axis and down the axis. Notice it's the same exact picture as our paragraph. It's just movement up or down. Now you ask me, Mrs. Peters, why does our picture up here not have anything in the parentheses? What's going on right here? So let's talk about what that actually is telling us at our graph. Okay, in the parentheses. Inside the parentheses, we have some information. If that number is greater than 1, then my graph is going to increase, just like the parent graph. If it is less than 1, okay, that means it's between 0 and 1, then it's decreasing and I get a reflection across the y-axis. So in this case, it means I'm going to flip across the y-axis. That means if what's inside those parentheses is a fraction like 1/2, I have what we call exponential decay. Any questions? If you have them, write them down, send them to me, and I'll be happy to answer them. Have a good day. Let's look at this as the whole picture. You have all the information to be able to tell me what's going on with the graph. Talk to you later.